He is here to give you a rundown on what everything's been going on with Dominion Energy and to answer any questions that you may have. Mr. Charlie Donato.
Thank you, Rebecca. And yes, a short presentation is the order. We're going to get through this and get to your questions. I like the dialogue part very, very much. 13 months ago, I got a call back in Richmond, Virginia, where my management said, how about coming down to South Carolina for a few weeks and talk about a merger deal that we've proposed down there. 13 months later, I'm still down here and I'm still talking about the merger deal. I hope to dispel some rumors, to dispel some thoughts about our company, but more importantly, inform you about a company that's your new utility here in South Carolina. How many of you are SCE&G Electric customers? Great, okay. So often I go into a room and it's co-op and it's other folks. How many of you are SCE&G gas customers? Great, okay. So we can talk about those things today and you all are front line. First off, there are four things that this company really stands for. We have several values, but the first is safety. We believe in having our customers and our employees come home exactly the same way they left the house in the morning as we move forward with our products. Our products are dangerous. So we commit to safety, and we found in SCE&G another company that was committed to safety. We're have one of the best safety records in the industry. If I happen to scrub up against something with that rental car outside, if I happen to bump into one of your other cars, I will be in the chairman's office next week explaining to him what happened and why it will never happen again. And that's industry, that's the way our company operates on the safety front. We figure if we get safety right, everything else falls into place. We have efficiency, we have briefings, we have all these things, communications. If we do safety right, we do it all right. Second is rates. As a result of the merger, I think you all already know that the 15.2% reduction in rates will continue. That was on the bubble early in the negotiations as a 7% reduction with money back, the $1,000 loan or $1,000 offer you all saw in the paper, et cetera, at the last moment to try to get the deal through. It was clear the deal was not going to go through with the $1,000 back. That was not going to get done. So at the last hour, the decision makers asked us to come back with another proposal. We came back with a proposal taking the $1.3 billion that would have funded those rebates and took that and applied it towards rates. Thus, the rates go down long term. As an economic developer and somebody who chases business all over, trying to bring business to the community, we find that's a good thing because you were above the competitive rates from your peer neighbors, your peer utilities and your other neighbors. And electricity is important in the economic development decision-making process. Third is reliability. The average SCE&G customer now, Dominion Energy, is out 88 minutes a year. That is the average, and that's about 99.975% of the time your lights are on. We're very proud of that. We plan on continuing that. In addition, during major storms, you now have an army of people in Virginia that can come down and help turn the lights on with regards to major storms. You all, your teams have come up and helped us turn lights on in Virginia, and we're very appreciative of that. So we think that's going to be a very, very good opportunity for both of us, Virginia and South Carolina. And then finally, another R, and that's renewables. Dominion Energy just opened the largest solar station in South Carolina in May of last year. It's in Jasper County, and it's 750 acres, 70 megawatts, which in the energy business is really big for solar. That was opened last year. We also have another 10 megawatt solar station very close to that. So we are committed to solar, fourth largest solar operator in the nation, with a commitment to go to 3,000 megawatts by 2035. So I can go on talking about the company forever. I've been there 33 years, and as you can tell, I'm horribly biased. Let me see, do we want to start the dialogue now? I could talk more, but I think I don't even need the presentation. That was kind of small for your eyes, so we passed on that part. 1 in 5 hires at Dominion Energy, I think it's important to point out, is a veteran. We are really, really committed to our veterans and hiring good people who already have a great skill set of service, of dependability, of technology. So they come on board very, very well at our company, and we're proud to hire veterans at all turn. I can't think of anything else that we need to jump into today. I'm sorry my energy level's so low today. I've been at this for 4 days now, and I get to jump on a plane tonight to go back to Martha. So I just am glad to be here and thankful that you all pulled this together and ready to dialogue when you all are. Yes?
I get asked a lot on the public affairs director for the town of Chapin, and the Big C Summer Project is obviously a big community highlight. Obviously, when it ended, it affected a lot of families.
Absolutely.
What are the plans that Dominion Energy has for that site?
Dominion Energy's turned all that over to Santee Cooper. So now Dominion Energy's out of it. We turned all the site, the hardware that was already delivered, all that is now on Santee Cooper's budget balance sheet. And at that point, I'm not sure what their plans are. I know we had no plans to continue it or complete it, and that's unfortunate, I agree, but we are very fortunate to be here, and we look forward to being here a long time. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Is it the same team that manages the lake?
Yes. Yes, the lake, when I met with the Lake Murray Association, that was one of the first meetings that we had. Yes, same team, and that was assured. I can't remember the gentleman's name, David, he's your president of the Lake Murray Association. They were concerned about two things as far as I recall. One was just that, who's going to be managing the lake? And we manage other lakes. We manage Lake Gaston, not nearly as large, so we're familiar with that. We operate hydro in a lot of places, but that team would stay, and that's true across SCANA, SCE and G. We can't keep the lights on or the gas flowing from Richmond. We know that. We have to have those good people here who operate the utilities here, and that's a big part of this deal, is to remain committed to them. You'll see some duplication, you'll see some changes, but it won't be very much compared to the 5,400 employees that are here. And then the other thing was some federal licensing. They were in the middle of a FERC license process, and we're going to honor all that and keep on going. So the lake keeps going like it is. Who's next? Anybody else? Don't tell me we're going to get out of here quick. That can't be. Yes?
What kind of positive impact do you think Dominion is going to bring to South Carolina by being, headquartered in Virginia and expecting growth here?
That's a really good question, and you helped me a lot, because you don't have to look at them now, but 3 things. First, in my bio that Rebecca helped us with, I'm on the food bank board, I'm on the community college board, and that's the expectation of Dominion Energy and its employees, that we remain heavily involved in the communities we are fortunate to serve and reflect those communities. Second, they also give us a corporate match. So if any of you are with nonprofits and you have Dominion Energy employees involved, or they give, we do 100% match up to $5,000 per employee. And if you're on the board or you're a volunteer with more than 20 hours with the organization, we double that. So if I give the food bank $500, it could be as much as $1,500. I think that's a big plus. Third, we give 120,000 hours of volunteer time. Every employee gets paid time to volunteer for their organization of their choice. So again, that community involvement. We up the amount of money that SCANA, the former SCANA Corporation, gave from $3 million to $4 million for the next 5 years. So you'll find that we're philanthropic. We also volunteer a lot. We work hard to diversify and reflect the communities that we serve, and we're really, really reliable. We're so committed to reliability, so you will see your lights continue to be on. We're committed to stable rates, in that you won't see a lot of volatility in rates. We'll telegraph any changes to you with regards to up or down. But it won't, you won't see sharp, we commit to stability and certainty, some predictability in rates. It helps a lot, helps us all. Who else? Yes, sir.
Just a simple question, have you gotten a lot of reviews through your travels?
Yes. The question is, I had some people giving me a hard time during these meetings.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, and for good reason. It did smell of a bait and switch. It did look like it. It did smell like it. It wasn't, but I'm so close to it. I'm so close to the matter. It was very clear to me why we were doing it and all that, but it's not clear to the public, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here. We made a commitment to the Public Service Commission to do outreach. And so thank you all so much for being a part of that outreach so that we could come and talk to communities about our deal, about who we are, about what we stand for. And I think that, these meetings go a long way towards doing that. And yeah, the worst one was in Charleston. It was a bunch of commercial real estate brokers. Wow, I barely got out alive. It was unbelievable. And scathing letters to our chairman about my poor performance. It was awesome. It was wonderful. Yes, ma'am.
So I know that we have several nonprofits in the room, and I have heard that Dominion Energy does a lot with nonprofits in each state that they're in, and there are ways that they can apply for different grants,
Right.
and that they have different areas of focus. I'm not sure if you have any information that you
Right.
can kind of share to the folks in here that are nonprofits of where they could get that information.
So my day job is government affairs manager back in Richmond, Virginia with 40 communities. So I'm asked that question quite often. And let me see if I can get this right. It's been a little while. There are 4 areas of focus in Dominion Energy's foundation. We give out about $30 million a year in the 18 states in which we do business. The first one is STEM or STEAM, primarily engineering, technology, and math. If you're K through 12, and we're programmatic. We don't do bricks and mortar like we used to. We're very programmatic. So if you have a program in your schools that is STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, math, and some people add an A for arts. If it's one of those things, you can apply to Dominion Energy for a grant going to dominionfoundation.org or dominionfoundation.com. It's all under the big website, dominionenergy.com. And search for Dominion Foundation. The rules and these areas of focus are on the website. The second one is environmental education. I just got funded back home a Waterman series with middle schoolers. We have a very delightful area, much like you all have, of oystermen and oyster folks who do that work. And we found that their culture is slowly diminishing. So we pair now middle schoolers with people in that industry to share knowledge and to share stories and to share those things. So environmental education. My favorite one in that area is the learning barge. We took an old barge, re-outfitted it, and turned it into a life sciences studio and classroom, so that we can move it from place to place all over the out of the Hampton Roads area and use it in a variety of options. Let's see, that's 2 of them. We're getting there. The third is community vitality. That's sort of a catch-all phrase. That's how I sneak the Dominion Christmas Parade in every year. The community vitality ilk. And then, let's see, science, technology. Community needs, the food bank. We are good for support for food banks, and these are just examples of community need. free medical care spaces, what do they call them? Lawrence Ledwith is one of them, but it's free medical care for folks who can't afford it. And then finally, one of my pet causes is the Energy Share organization in Virginia, and I think we're going to implement the same program here. If you round up as a customer, if your bill's $125.50, if you round up to $126, that money goes into a fund to help people who can't afford to pay their energy bills. It's called Energy Share. What I like about that program, and I think it'll come true here, is it'll buy wood. If people heat with wood, it will buy, it's not just your energy bill. It's what do you need to heat your house, or, however you do it. What else? That answer that question okay, Rebecca? Great. DominionEnergy.com, search for foundation. Yes, sir.
Are there any goals or future plans for a set amount of solar farms or solar power?
I'm glad you asked that. Let me grab a sip of water. The question's about goals in here for solar. Not yet, but you will see in the next couple of months there will be a document that comes out. We do it in all the states where we do business. I think it's a requirement. It's called the IRP. It's an integrated resource plan. It's a study of how much electricity and energy will be needed to keep the lights on for the next 15 years, or the gas flowing in the next 15 years in South Carolina. Looking at the expectations of growth, of retirement of facilities, of aging facilities, etc. Solar will be a component of that plan. And what we've done in other states, since it's really a working, living, talking document when it first comes out, this is the way Dominion Energy sort of sees things, or the way things could go. We'll offer several options in there. One of them might be a heavily renewable option. It's more expensive and less reliable because of the volatility of renewables. And we can talk about how we mitigate that. But at the end of the day, I think the likelihood is that IRP will include that plan you're talking about. And really to have an informed discussion with the PSC, with the community, about how do you want this to go? You can have a fossil fuel leveraged future that may provide more reliability and more predictability, or you can have a heavily renewable future. We're building, Dominion Energy is an all the above company. We power the Pentagon, we power Oceana, we power Langley, we power Facebook, we power Microsoft, we power Amazon. We've got the largest data center area on the planet in Northern Virginia. I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you, we do, Facebook and Microsoft force us to be really, really good at solar, because their shareholders and their folks demand that they're heavily solar. And so we have to respond to that. So we build them solar stations, large ones, to offset their footprint. So my point is, if the technology's out there, we know about it, we do it, and we'll do it well. We just need to have a discussion about what it should be, what South Carolina wants. Yes, ma'am.
Talking about, when you were talking the previous question before that, about grants and your community involvement, I really appreciate that. I'm with a local organization called Good Works. We do home repairs and renovations for people in our area. And we get that often. Our clients are in a bind and they can't pay their power bill. So we try to help them when we can. And also we help people with wood even. So I love that y'all hopefully will be doing that, because there's still a lot of need around.
And Energy Share, and then in addition, that 120,000 hours of volunteer time from our employees, and that's in Virginia, North Carolina, Utah, other states. We haven't really started here. I anticipate or suspect that the former SCANA employees, are active in the community as well. So we will support them in those activities, and they can swing a pretty good hammer. They do a pretty good job. Yeah. Yes, sir.
What do you foresee the actual changeover date, when it's all changed over, everything's done?
So we're thinking in the next couple of months. We've already changed the signs in KC. Oh, you know what, back to your question. Next couple of months, you'll see the bill change to Dominion Energy and those things. The branding and the labeling folks are all working on all that. Back to the commitment. Committed to Casey, keeping the main office in Casey. You have a CEO, and I was referring to those papers. You see 4 circles on that paper, and they represent the various, did I already cover this? We already talked about this. You have your own energy group. So you have the Southeast Energy Group, which is really important because we didn't have that before. That is a 4th operating group at Dominion, and it's a big deal. You have 2 board members, 2 new board members from South Carolina on Dominion Energy's big board. And you have a CEO named Rodney Blevins. Rodney, I've worked with Rodney for a long time, 25 years. He's what they call an operator in that he knows operationally how to keep the lights on and the gas flowing. And he's the person you want. My point with all that is he is CEO of Dominion Energy South. And the decisions are made down here. We're not going to be involved in the day-to-day operations. You have a lot of autonomy down here. He fusses about having to fly home every now and then and make nice to the shareholders. But other than that, he's working very hard for you all. He's working really hard for South Carolina, and he is thrilled to be here. A hurricane came on board in 2003 in Virginia. We started the hurricane with 2.2 million operating customers. When it left, we had 1.8 million out. I was standing next to him, and he didn't miss a beat. I missed a lot of beats, but he did not miss a beat. He's the person you want here. Hope you get an opportunity to meet him. He sends his regards. Who else? Yes.
Since you've been here for 13 months, do you really want to go back?
You know, I want to go see Martha. That's what I tell management down here. I need to go see Martha, my bride of 33 years. She sends her regards as well. She's been down a lot. I've gotten her down here a few times. She owns her own company back in Virginia. She's got a 90-year-old mom and memory care. So we're staying home, but I'll be back. They'll keep my phone number so they can come down here and I can take a beating again over $1,000. Who else? Yes.
So to play off of the last question that you just answered about having autonomy here in the Southeast, since you guys have 18 states, correct? When you are doing evaluations for cost, are you going to do a collaborative across the board? Is that going to affect us positively, negatively, or will we have, the regional or more local to you?
Rodney has his own budget. Rodney has his own budget. That's a big part of it, and that's a great question. No, we do not socialize the money across we socialize for instance, we are D on the New York Stock Exchange. The profitability, our earnings, all those things are socialized across the company, but that's all profit. The actual operating budget is South Carolina's operating budget, starting where Scannell left off.
So, I'm going to assume, since it's a merger or whatever you want to call it, that people from Dominion has come down or are coming down to figure out if there's places within the system here now that needs upgrades. Like where we are, we've had troubles over the last good while with transformers going out and they were not maintained, they weren't replaced, whatever the process is with transformers. If there's a weakness somewhere that y'all see that maybe haven't been seen before, is that something that'll be addressed?
That's a great point and a good question. First off, we don't know everything about electricity in South Carolina, and it is different regionally how things operate. Your folks here are very good, but we will share knowledge. That's the other part of my job down here, is to travel with the local government person. Morgan Harrell could not attend today, but we travel extensively and talk all the time about how do you do this? How do you guys do this? So if there are any maintenance cycles that we can share with the folks here, or even to the level of the transformers, what kind do you buy? How kind of service do you get out of those? Yeah, so you'll see incremental improvements on both our part and their part, I think, over time. That's the plan. If you find those kinds of weaknesses, please communicate. Please tell us. Please email us. Please call us. Please call the customer service center because we want to know about those. Does that help you? Yes. We're gonna continue to study now. It's weird. I found out that the poles, the wooden poles, sometimes you'll see them with different marks on them. We do an audit apparently every 5 years of all the poles, and some need to be replaced. So you'll see them marked up. So you'll see us do regular maintenance cycles, and maybe it's time your area gets a maintenance cycle.
Ours has gotten a little bit better, and we live up around the peak.
I'm sure since Dominion Energy bought them, right, we got a lot better.
When I grew up in Columbia, my son and his family lived down there now, that house, and since 1954. The only block that ever goes out is the block they live in. The people across the street can have power,
So
and it's ongoing.
So that's a report in and of itself, and I think, talk to me after, I'll take it back, but I'll tell you, we have a program in Virginia that the General Assembly just funded fully. That's an undergrounding program. It's $350 million over 5 years. And what we did is a study of we found that 80% of the outages happened in 20% of the places, over and over, with big storms, with ice storms, with other things. So we convinced the General Assembly and the Commission to allow us to underground in those high-risk areas so that it wouldn't go out anymore, and it frees those crews that would normally be there fixing that time, during those periods of time, they wouldn't be fixing those areas. Now they can be out fixing everybody else's power. It's working out pretty well. A lot of resistance in some communities because it is right disruptive as we underground. And they don't want those big green boxes in their yards. But, it's an interesting idea. It is, long term. And we may bring that idea here, we'll see. Again, it depends on what we're asked to do and how we work together. Folks, I thank you very much. This has been informative for me as well. Any other questions before we scoot and I turn this over to Rebecca? Thank you very much.